Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and our good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving. A country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, roll call. Please, clerks at table, kindly call out the names of honorable members. And as usual, honorable members, you respond in accordance with the rules of the House.
Abaka Samuel Erickson. Abanga Abdullahi. Abdullahi Jacob Idris. Abdul Latif Dan. Abdul Salam Adams. Ablakwa Samuel Okujeto. Abuaji George Kwame. Abuaji Kwejo Nyampong. Abudulari Bazurira. Achampon Brian. Achampon Charles. Achampon Richard. Akwa Kusofa Karen Edem. Akwa Alexander Kwesi. Adam Hamza. Adam Mohammed Amin. Adams Kofi Idi. Adi Teddy Safori. Adoya Frimpong. Ejay Kwesi Boateng. Adom Frederick Obeng. Adumako Mensa Alex. Adumako Mensa Collins. Adongo Isaac. Edu Johnson Kweku. Edu Chumiao Osei. Afenya Markin Alexander Kwamina. Afol Eric. Efrifa Mensa Kwesi Owusu. Efriye Nanayu. Efriye Kweku. Agalga James. Agbeve Charles. Agboja Kwame Govins. Ejepon Ken Ohene. Ejari Alexander. Ejokim Emmanuel Kwejo. Ajima Menu Kweku. Ajima Rollins Zaneto. Ejeni Boateng Kweku. Ahinkwa Kingsley Carlos. Ahinkwa Frederick Yao. Ahi Samson. Ahiafo Bernard. Eidu William Oreku. Akando Kwabna Minta. Akanvari Balidi Alamisi. Achia Samuel Lata. Alauzuga Albert Akuka. Al Hassan Abdallah Idi. Al Hassan Bashir F. Husseini. Al Hassan Lydia Seyram. Al Hassan Saibu Suini. Aliu Mahama Umar Farouk. Alaute Angelo Foriwa. Amankwa Nicholas. Amankwa Menu Kofi. Ameu John Peter. Amiao Tremi Kwesi. Amwa Osebonsu. Amwa Stephen. Amwaku Andre Siama. Amwaku Atakwesi. Ampim Thomas Nyako. Ampofu Chumesi Kwame. Amprechum Sapon Kweku. Anshra Emmanuel Ej. Enim Ernest Yao. Enim Moses. Anodon Pre Frank. Entry Eugene Boache. Anyimedu Entry Kwame. Apak Clement Abbas. Apeje Patricia. Apia Kubi Andy Kwame. Ama Prince Hamidu. Asamoah Vincent Opon. Asante Kwejo. Asante Boateng Kweku. Asensu Boachi Francis. Esiama Isaac Kwame. Esiama Kwabna Mankwa. Esiama Eje Nanamadukwa. Asafwa Vincent Eko. Ata Mills Samuel. Aveji James Kluje. Avoka Kletu Sapu. Ewa Ignatius Bafo. Awuni Theresa Ladi. Ayamba Ladi Ayi. Ayariga Mahama, Ayuku Benjamin Nate, Ayine Dominica Kritinga, Befi Michael Ochre, Baba Benson Tongo, Baligi Bright Bachi Yoville, Bandim Azuma Abednego, Bano Patrick, Battels Sheila, Bawa Edward Abambri, Bezra Emmanuel Kwesi, Bettino Joseph, Blankson Alex, Boachi Henry Yadom, Boachi Yadom Patrick, Boama Patrick Yao, Boatin Kwesi Dako, Boatin Amapoma, Boatin Joseph Apia, Boatin Kwabna, Bobby Evans Opoku, Boche Daniel, Brahima Muhammad Bawa, Boa Emmanuel Amakofi, Bukari Joseph Nikwe, Chinyamidu Ishaku, Traja Samson Tongumbu, Chiwete Andrew Dari, Crenzel Abeku, Kujo Comfort Doyo, Kujo Joseph, Kujo Robert Wisdom, Dafia Mako Roxon Nelson Eche Kwame, Dalu Thomas Ada, Dapila Cletu Seidu, Dakon Daniel Ohene, Dako Mensa Kwabnotre, Dauda Collins, Dawunia Bukari, Derry Ambrose, Jonobwa Alex Tete, Donko Elvis Morris, Donko Kwabna, Duka George Mereku, Eyanana, Fojo John Intim, Force and Castle Atoba, Frempon Joseph, Gakwe Kwame Jujoli, George Samuel Nate, Gansal Hassan Kobna, Gate Joe, Gidisu Wisdom, Gomadoyao, Gomashi Ablajifa, Jenfi Manuel Akwesi, Jan Alexander, Jan Mensa Richard, Hamon Kwabnata Hill, Hansen Note Yves, Haruna Seidu, Hayford Ophelia Mensa, Hotoja Alexander Roosevelt, Ibrahim Ahmed, Ibrahim Mutala Muhammad, Ibrahim Azurera Muhammad, Idrisu Habib, Idrisu Haruna, Isifu Seidu, Jabbar John Benham, Jaja Yusuf Isaka, Jalula Stephen Pambin, Joso Godfrey Seidu, Jinapo John Abdullahi, Jinapo Samuel Abdullahi, Kini Jeffrey, Kisi Dixon Adomako, Kuneidu Akwesi, Kumson Mavis Hawa, Kosa Martin Kwekwe J. Mensa, Kodo Benjamin Komla, Kum Ebenezer Kojo, Kuma Joseph Kwame, Kuyon Solomon, Kwachia Kapita Yao, Kwatin Kwekwa Jiman, Kofi Festo Sewa, Chei Mensam Bonsu Osei, Tremi Nelson, Labi Oscar Ofori, Lati Agnes Namomo, Liwal Oscar, Mama Seni, Mama Nasir Toure, Menua Dabo Francis, Marfo Emmanuel, Mark for Kofia Hinkra, Mbomba Thomas, Mensa Betty Nanefua Crosby, Mensa Francisca Oting, Mensa Isaac Ej, Mensa Joseph Kwesi, Mensa Tina Gifty Naele, Mensa Andrew Kofi Japa, Morrison Cynthia Mamle, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, Musa Abdulaziz Ayaba, Nanja Sanja, Napari Dominic, Nawal Mark Kurt, Newman Dakwa, Nitiwu Dominic Benga Maduna, Inkansabwedu Mavis, Nokoi Kofi Ako, Nogbe Ernest Henry, Notuko Toe Peter Kwesi, Intim Adelaide, Intim Augustine Collins, Intoso Helen Ajua, Nyakote Albert Tete, Nyaku Bismarck Tete, Nyaku Kingsley, Nyaku Kwamina Minta, Obintechi George Kwabena, Obin Boating Alfred, Oklulindo Hinewa Kwele, Odampton Isaac Ashia, Ofore Jari Elizabeth, Okofu Date Williams, Otre Ejekum Kofi, Opoku Davis Ansa, Opoku Eric, Opoku Isaac Yao, Opon Kroma Kojo, Osei John Frimpong, Osei Kennedy Nyaku, Osei Asari Abena, Osei Wusu Joseph, Oti John Kwabna Bless, Otute Christian Kolete, Owusu Bio Benito, Owusu Ekuful Esla, Peito Desmond de Graft, Pelpo Abdul Rashid Hassan, Prempe Frida Akosia, Prempe Matthew Opoku, Kwate Henry, Kwaisin James Jechi, Ramadan Muhammad Adamu, Reketegan George Kweku, Safu Sarah Ajwa, Sandari Sebastian Meneso, Sanit Suleiman Adamu, Sani John Kobna Abam Abwa, Soya Queen Samami Pokua, Sefe Richard Kwame, Setre Benjamin Yeboa, Sosu Francis Xavier Kojo, Sowa Dela Ajwa, Sowa Rita Nao Dole, Suparu Adams Mohammed, Suleiman Adama, Suleiman Al-Hassan Tampuli, Suleiman Yusuf, Suma Anthony Nkwikara, Tahidu Abdurazak, Teria Augustine, Telabi Ebenezer Oklite, Tete Joycelyn, Tete Sylvester, Tete Agotri Gisela, Tete Joseph Akwete, Toffee Dockers, Tobu Peter Lanshini, Tuferi Mohammed Hadi, Chum Ampofu Gifty, Chum Berima Paul Apreku, Yusuf Mustafa, Vandapoy Alfred Oko, Vandapoy Edwin Nilante, Vondi David, Wakwao Daniel Insala, Reku Brobe Bright, Woyome Kobna Mensa, Zidim Bid and Watazumo.
Honorable members, we can now move on to item 5. Item 5. Correction of votes and proceedings and official report. We will start with the correction of votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 15th October 2024. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, and page 18. Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the votes and proceedings of the first sitting dated Tuesday, 15th October 2024 are adopted as a true record of proceedings. We may now move to official reports. I have a copy each of the official reports of 3rd July 2024 and 4th July 2024. We'll start with that of the 3rd July 2024. Any corrections? Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 3rd July 2024 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now move to that of 4th July 2024. Any corrections? Honorable members, in the absence of any corrections, the official report of 4th July 2024 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honorable members, we have some visitors with us today, and I want on your behalf to recognize them in the house. We have students from the Osu Salem 1 basic school. There are 60 in number, and they are being led by the head teacher in the person of Mr. Emmanuel Taki. This school is located in the Clote-Kole constituency, 60 in number. On your behalf, I want to warmly welcome them to the house. Actually, this is their house. I think we are located in the constituency, and we should be grateful that they have been hosting us for all this long. We are happy they are here to observe what we do for and on their behalf. I thank you so much for getting time to come, and please keep on coming. There's a lot to learn from here. And your member of parliament, I'm sure, might be involved in this. She's available, my own daughter. So you are warmly welcome. Please, you may resume your seats. We also have students from the Doyumu Methodist Basic School. The school is located in the Shai Osudoku constituency, and they are being led also by the head teacher of the school in the person of Mr. Augustus Kwajo Odonko. They are 40 in number. On your behalf, once again, honorable members, I warmly welcome them to the house. I think today we've gone to the issue of catching them young, straight from the basic schools, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the head teachers for this initiative and for taking the time, resources, energy, everything to bring them to this house. We are extremely grateful, and once again, I encourage you to keep on coming. I think the MP is also available. Augustus Kwajo Odonko, head teacher, thanks so much for bringing them. Please kindly resume your seat. We will now move on to public business. Yes, leaders.
Yes. Speaker, as was agreed at the commencement of public business, may we proceed to item 10 on page 3 of today's order paper.
Honorable members, at the commencement of public business, item 10 at page 3 of the order paper. Environmental Protection Bill 2024 at the consideration stage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to seek your leave to delete some amendment proposals which has been mistakenly advertised Mr. Speaker, Clause 124, Clause 132, Clause 134, 135, 142, all amendment proposed be deleted. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member, my understanding is that the bill was withdrawn in order to incorporate the views that we expressed on the floor. And since it's been resubmitted, we'll have to start all over. And so we have to start from Clause 1. Then when we get to where you are talking about, we could then take that on board. So, honorable members, I'll start from Clause 1 so that we can expedite action. It was withdrawn and it's now being submitted, so we have to start from Clause 1. Yes, honorable members, Clause 1.
Establishment of the authority.
Clause 2.
Of the authority.
Clause 3.
Functions of the authority.
Clause 4.
Body of the authority.
Clause 5.
Functions of the board.
Clause 6.
Office of members of the board.
Clause 7.
Things of the board.
Clause 8.
Jar of interest.
Clause 9.
Establishment of committees.
Clause 10.
This is
Clause 11.
ministerial directives.
Clause 12.
Establishment of coordinating committee.
Clause 13.
Functions of the coordinating committee.
Clause 14.
Technical committees.
Clause 15.
Functions of the technical committees.
Clause 16.
Technical review committee.
Clause 17.
Divisions, directorates, and departments of the authority.
Clause 18.
Offices of the authority.
Clause 19.
Appointment of chief executive officer.
Clause 20.
Functions of the chief executive officer.
Honorable members, on your feet, have you got some proposed amendments? Clause 21.
3 to the board.
Clause 22.
Appointment of other staff.
Clause 23.
Internal audit unit.
Clause 24.
Funds of the authority.
Clause 25.
Bank account of the authority.
Clause 26.
Expenditure of the authority.
Clause 27.
Accounts and audit.
Clause 28.
Annual reports and other reports.
Clause 29.
Environmental assessment.
Clause 30.
Relocation, displacement, and compensation.
Clause 31.
Certification of environmental management practitioners.
Clause 32.
Environmental monitoring.
Clause 33.
Environmental inspection and audit.
Clause 34.
Environmental performance and public disclosure system.
Clause 35.
Enforcement.
Clause 36.
Powers of the Minister.
Clause 37.
Request for information.
Sorry, Honorable Bernard Ahiefo.
Mr. Speaker, sorry to take you back on accounts and audit. Mr. Speaker, on the accounts and audit, we've been using the constitutional language in Article 87 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And Mr. Speaker, the rendition is, the authority shall keep books, record, returns, and other documents relevant to the accounts. So, Mr. Speaker, the drafters can take note about the adopted rendition.
Which article are you, clause are you looking at?
Clause 27, which deals with accounts and audit.
Clause 27.
Yes. Unless what I have is not the new one.
Clause 27, subclause 1.
That is so, Mr. Speaker.
All right. I will refer that to the drafters to fine-tune it
Mr. Speaker, I'm most grateful.
so that there will be consistency.
Most grateful. Mr.
Thank you so much. We're at clause 39. Sorry, we're at clause 37. Clause 38.
Establishment of the National Environment Fund.
Clause 39.
Object of the National Environment Fund.
Clause 40.
Sources of money for the National Environment Fund.
Clause 41.
Bank account of the National Environment Fund.
Clause 42.
Management of the National Environment Fund.
Clause 43.
Regulations.
Clause 44.
Interpretation.
Clause 45.
Of Pesticides Technical Committee.
Clause 46.
Functions of the Pesticides Technical Committee.
Clause 47.
Requirement for registration of pesticide.
Clause 48.
Application for registration of pesticide.
Clause 49.
Determination of completeness of application.
Clause 50.
Consideration of application.
Honorable members, let me put the question on these clauses, then we can proceed from there. And the question is that clauses 1 to 50, subject to the proposed refinement moved by the Honorable Member Bernard Ahiefo, I put those clauses 1 to 50. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clauses 1 to 50 are ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 51.
Application of pesticides.
Clause 52.
Provisional approval.
Clause 53.
Duration of provisional approval.
Clause 54.
Approval of registration of pesticides.
Clause 55.
Certificates of registration.
Clause 56.
Refusal of registration of pesticide.
Clause 57.
Duration and renewal of registration of pesticide.
Clause 58.
Re-registration of pesticide.
Clause 59.
Expiration of registration.
Clause 60.
Non-disclosure of confidential information.
Clause 61.
Power of the authority to amend, suspend, or ban pesticides.
Clause 62.
Withdrawal of pesticides.
Clause 63.
Register of pesticides.
Clause 64.
Requirement for license.
Clause 65.
Application for license.
Clause 66.
Grant of license.
Clause 67.
Refusal to issue a license.
Clause 68.
Validity of license.
Clause 69.
Renewal of license.
Clause 70.
Non-transferability of license.
Clause 71.
Suspension or cancellation of license.
Clause 72.
Export permit.
Clause 73.
Import permit.
Clause 74.
Appeal against decision of the authority.
Clause 75.
Establishment of the Pesticide Management Fund.
Clause 76.
Object of the Pesticide Management Fund.
Clause 77.
Sources of money for the Pesticides Management Fund.
Clause 78.
Establishment of the Pesticides Management Fund Committee.
Clause 79.
Functions of the Pesticide Management Fund Committee.
Clause 80.
Tenure of office of members of the Pesticides Management Fund Committee.
Clause 81.
Meetings of the Pesticide Management Fund Committee.
Clause 82.
Allowances of the Pesticides Management Fund Committee.
Clause 83.
Bank accounts for the Pesticides Management Fund.
Clause 84.
Disbursement from the Pesticides Management Fund.
Clause 85.
Safeguards for workers and users of pesticides.
Clause 86.
Pesticide residue.
Clause 87.
Training in pesticide management.
Clause 88.
General regulatory power.
Clause 89.
Conformity to registered pesticides.
Clause 90.
Counterfeit pesticide.
Clause 91.
Advertisement of registered pesticide.
Clause 92.
Container, label, and packaging of pesticide.
Clause 93.
Pre- and post-registration sampling and analysis.
Clause 94.
Records and reporting.
Clause 95.
Location for storage, sale, and distribution of pesticide.
Clause 96.
Pesticide.
Sorry, Honorable Haruna Idrisu.
Madam Speaker, will respect clause 95. Location for storage, sale, and distribution of pesticide reads, a person who constructs or rents a premise for storage, sale, and distribution of pesticides shall do so in accordance with the Environmental Assessment Regulation 1999 LI 1652 and the Pesticides Act. Mr. Speaker, this is technical. In doing so, there must be competition probably with other institutions under the Minister for Agriculture. You just can't do it alone. So if you say location, storage, sale, and distribution of pesticides, even the head note, I have a difficulty with it. What is location doing there, Mr. Speaker? Location. location for storage. If you want to say premises for storage, say so. But when you say location for storage, sale, and distribution, what are you referring to? And should it be a function exercised just by the fact that you have said that there is in accordance with the environmental assessment regulation? What, Mr. Speaker, what about other enactments that may affect pesticide control in the country? You can't limit it only to LI 1652. I agree with it, but generalize it. This must be done in accordance with Regulation 199 and other enactments, if they have no objection. There may be other existing legislation on the matter which will affect pesticides storage and distribution. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let me put a question from clauses 51 to 94. Then we can consider the issue raised by Honorable Haruna Idrisu. Honorable members, the question is that clauses 51 to clause 94 stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, clauses 51 to 94 are ordered to stand part of the bill. Now, clause 95, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu has raised a number of issues concerning first the subtitle and then also the contents of the clause. Yes, Chairman, what do you say to that?
Mr. Speaker, the title, location for storage, Mr. Speaker, is very key when it comes to specialized products under this, this clause, pesticides, and you realize that we have the pesticides. We have a committee that is in charge solely for pesticides. Pesticides are different from other agrochemicals like fertilizer, which is handled by the agric sector. This is considered as a harmful, or a toxic product, and it is handled differently. And therefore, the location is very, very important. You don't keep poisonous, substances anyway, because the effect of rain, fire, other things can cause harm. So the location is very, very important. I think that is the reason why we have it. Thank you.
Speaker, I appreciate the explanation from the chairman, but what is the essence of a head note? Location for storage, sale and distribution of pesticide. You probably could have said premises for storage, sale and distribution of pesticide. Because, Chairman, hold your cool, Mr. Speaker. If you come to the body of your clause, it reads, a person who constructs or rents a premises. It didn't say a location, Mr. Speaker. Then if you want, we have to find space for location in 95. In the body of 95, we must say a person who constructs or rents a premises for location, storage, and sale. Then, Mr. Speaker, we can allow location to be part of the head note. But when you just say location for storage, then you come under and say a person who constructs or rents a premises for storage, sale, and distribution. So, Mr. Speaker, the clause is limiting itself to premises for storage, sale, and distribution. That is why I say location must be substituted, Mr. Speaker, for location. Unless, of course, you want to put the location as part of the function under, then I'll be convinced. Maybe we'll hear the former minister, Mr. Speaker, because it's a technical word to provide support to the chairman. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, former minister.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with the chairman location is the key. And even though the example I'm giving is not exactly a pesticide, they are all chemicals. You recall that a couple of years ago, some people stored, is it nitrate in Beirut. That location, it exploded and killed a lot of people. So these pesticides, we are talking in generic terms. It is important that we identify location and take care of them. As for the premises, it presupposes that they are very small and restricted area. But I believe that location must find its way into this, what do you call it? And I don't share the view of Honorable Haruna. Thank you.
Yes, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the former minister has dealt with the issue. And I think my former leader.
Speaker, I probably will drop my opposition, but to both chairman and the former minister, a person who constructs or rents a premises, there is no location in the first and second line. What about, more elegantly, Mr. Speaker, a person who provides a facility, instead of saying he constructs and rents a premises? You see, so he must either have constructed or you must have rented. Somebody may provide a facility, and you are saying location is important. Show me where location is mentioned in clause 95, Mr. Speaker, for it to qualify to be the head note. Because the head note is to guide the interpretation of what is there.
Yes, please. Dr. Zanato.
Then my opposition, thank you.
Thank you.
But you have abandoned, but I want to hear from her. Maybe it's on a different issue. If hers is to be built on yours, then there's nothing there to stand on. But it might be on a different issue. Yes, please.
No, Mr. Speaker. It was with regards to the article that precedes premises. Premises are plural. It's a plural word. So usually these or the, and so the use of a premises I don't think is correct. So usually premises, if you're talking about renting premises, you don't put a in front of it. You say you're renting premises or these premises. As far as the grammar is concerned, I'm not sure whether a correction could be made to that.
Yes, Chairman, what do you say to that?
Mr. Speaker, I think she is reading a different version. Because 95, we have a person shall construct and manage premises licensed for storage.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying, 95. There's no premises. Yes.
Oh,
No.
the version I have, there is a premises.
Wow.
95, a person who constructs or rents a premises for storage, sale, and distribution of pesticides. That's what I have to.
Mr. Speaker, then we would have to delete it. Delete a premises. So I support the amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the proposal is for us to delete between rents and premises in line 1 of clause 95. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is carried. So it will now read, a person who constructs or rents premises for storage. Honorable members, I put the question on clause 95. And the question is that clause 95 as, sorry, are you proposing amendment to clause 95? Honorable Bauer, are you proposing amendment? No. Oh, okay. Honorable members, the question is that Clause 95 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, Clause 95 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 96.
Pesticide Quality Control Laboratory.
Clause 97.
Offenses and penalties.
Sorry, Clause 96.
Mr. Speaker, Clause 96. I need an explanation from the sponsor and the chairman of the committee. What is the essence of 96.2 and 3? 96.2 reads, Mr. Speaker, the Pesticide Quality Control Laboratory shall perform functions related to the quality of pesticides regulated under this part. Then 3, without limiting subsection 2, the Pesticides Quality Control Laboratory shall. No, you don't need 2 and 3. You just need the 2 to open up. Then say that the laboratory shall perform the following additional functions: analyze pesticide formulated products and others. Why are you separating it? I don't see any difference between subclause 2 and 3. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You see, the functions in subclause 3 will help you attain what find in 2. So give reason why the 2 stay together. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, 1, the authority shall establish a laboratory to be known as the Pesticide Control Laboratory. 1. Then 2, the Pesticide Control Laboratory shall perform functions related to the quality of pesticides regulated under this part. Then 3, without limiting subsection 2, the Pesticide Quality Control Laboratory shall analyze, formulate, analyze pesticide formulated products, analyze pesticides active ingredients. Mr. Speaker, yes, the function. Mr. Speaker, the object and the function is what has been outlined here. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence and leave, they have modern drafters, Bernard Ahiafo and Co. So 96.1, the authority shall establish a laboratory known as so the word to be, delete to be, it doesn't belong there. To the modern drafters, to the old school, that is what we would have done, Mr. Speaker. So delete to be. Then, Mr. Speaker, subclause 2, the Pesticides Quality Control Laboratory shall perform the following functions related to the quality of pesticides regulated under this act. Then you list A, B, C, D as the functions. That's more elegant than saying 2 and 3. So I would have combined 2 and 3, Mr. Speaker. But I see the modern drafter rising.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on 96.1, I agree perfectly with former minority leader. We have departed from drafting in a futuristic manner. So if you said to be known as, that is futuristic, and we draft in the present tense. That is why to be must be deleted. But on the second leg of his argument, what 96.2 is saying is that the Pesticide Quality Control Laboratory shall perform functions relating to the quality of pesticides regulated under this part. However, they can go further and perform these functions, which means that the main function is as listed in 2, but they can go beyond it without limiting to that particular function. It can do this extra work. So, Mr. Speaker, we should leave it as it is and then just correct the 96 one by deleting the word to be.
Yes, former minister.
Mr. Speaker, to some extent, I agree with Honorable Haruna. But it looks like we've mixed two issues. We are talking about quality issues, and then in the same breath, we are even talking about training. So I make this proposal that the pesticide control, quality control laboratory shall perform functions related to the quality of pesticides, and then in particular analyze pesticides formulated products and analyze pesticide active ingredients. Full stop. And then the subclause 3 should then be conduct research and training and perform, and then the omnibus clause, they perform any other function related to it. That will even bring a lot of clarity into this clause. Let me repeat myself. Without limiting, we can take subclause 2 and then add A and B, the ideas in A and B, because they are quality issues, the A and B. While they stand as alone, they are also quality issues. But C and D are different functions altogether. And if we make that one subclause 3, and then add A and B to 2, that will bring clarity and elegance into the clause. Thank you.
Yes, Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, once the foreign minister who introduced this bill is suggesting such an amendment, I think I'll have to go with. So, I'll consider. Sorry? So, can you come clearer? Can you come clearer and let us. Yeah, it's not too clear.
Hello. Speaker, thank you very much. I disagree with the proposal by the former minister. I think I will go with the current rendition. All modern laboratories perform functions beyond just the core analysis. Training and research have become part of every modern, laboratory, function. So I think the thoughts as expressed in 2 and 3 should stand. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I think that I would support what my ranking has just said. Because what I'm saying is that it was the minister who introduced the bill. Once he has his own creature, he's decided to make other proposals that I may be tempted to go with it. But then, Mr. Speaker, the other aspect too is that these laboratories, most of the laboratories, because of funding problems, they organize such training to generate some funds, and then do other things other than the mainstream products that come there. They can, because they are involved in surveillance, they can also go around there, pick products at random and come and work on them. So I think that is.
Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, I will abandon but insist on the deletion in line 1 of 96.1, the word to be. Yes. Then just pose a question for the minister and the chairman. Analyze or test. A, B. Why are you using only analyze and not adding or test? Analyze or test. Because subsequently, I see you use the word provision for analysis or test. So, do you want to marry the two, analyze and test? In 96.3, You use just analyze. And I'm saying that analyze include test. Or we should add the word test to analyze. Or we say analyze or test. And or. It's just a question, but Mr. Speaker, the 96 you can put a question on 96 as it is, except to insist on the deletion of to be in 96
Yes.
line 1. Thank you.
Yes, Chairman.
Results. They are not the same. You test and analyze and come out with, recommendations. Thank you. Yeah.
Honorable members, I'll put the question on clause 96, subclause 1. And the question is that delete to be in line 1 of clause 96, subclause 1. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is carried. Now, I'll put the question on the whole of clause 96. And the question is that clause 96 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clause 96 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 97.
Fences and penalties.
Yes, please.
With your leave and indulgence, 97(1) subclause A. A person who deliberately or negligently, intentionally or deliberately, what word do we want? Our practice have been to use the word intentionally. So why deliberately or intentionally? Mr. Speaker, maybe it should just start negligently. You don't need to add the words deliberate. Negligently, because, Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, in tort law, then negligently there is a standard to which to hold a person that you have refused to comply with the minimum standards. But if you say deliberately, it's not the same thing as, Mr. Speaker, negligently.
That's why we say all.
Mr. Speaker, Donoghue versus Stevenson, I believe that is the authority on this standard. So I have a difficulty with that. Then in subclause 1A, makes a false record. False record. What is record? False record. What is record? If it's a false statement, say so. But false record, what record? So, Mr. Speaker, the word record in 97(1)A, I have a difficulty with it. But, Mr. Speaker, my insistence will be on negligently. Because with negligence, we know the prerequisites. That you are required, if I give an egg to you to hold, I expect some standard of care from you, that because I've given you an egg to hold. If I give you a baby, that look after the baby and the baby falls off you, I will know that you didn't comply with standards of holding a baby compared to holding an adult. So I have a difficulty with the use of the word deliberately. Negligently, I'm fine with. Then provide a better explanation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chairman. Oh, okay. Let's take the views of Honorable Bernard Ahiemfo first.
Right, Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, Section 97(1) is creating an offense. And I always have a problem when we are using the word deliberately or intentionally, because two things constitute a crime: the act and the intention. So once you are creating an offense, It is these two things that will constitute the offense that you are creating. So there is no need for the law saying acting intentionally or otherwise. Because once it is a crime being created, the actus reus and then the mens rea must be there for there to be a crime. So you cannot be creating an offense using the word deliberately or intentionally. If you are using the word deliberately or intentionally, when the crime occurs, then you must go further to prove that the crime was committed intentionally, which is one of the elements to be established anyway in proving any crime. So you don't use the word again. Mr. Speaker, use of negligence when it comes to criminal offense, I also have a problem. Because in thought, we were taught that negligence is doing what a reasonable person, guided by all those considerations that regulate the conduct of human affairs, will not do, or failure to do what such a person will do is what constitutes negligence in law. So I know that we have a law of causing financial loss which says whether you acted negligently or willingly. But I believe we need to depart from that. For me, when somebody is negligent, the ingredients to be established is that you have done something that a reasonable person, guided by all those considerations that regulate the conduct of human affairs, would not do, or you fail to do what such a person would do, and it is more or less like thought. So, to propose a rendition, we can say that a person who makes a false declaration or submit a false or misleading statement to the authority commits an offense. So that we delete the word deliberately or negligently, and then the record that we have a problem with should be you making a false declaration to the authority or submitting a false or misleading statement to the authority. And in that case, you have committed a crime or an offense, and you are liable for summary conviction. For then the other words will follow. Mr. Speaker, I so moved.
Yes. Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, these offenses stems out of testing and analyzing, and therefore, anybody that provides wrong reports or records wrong data commits an offense. We are looking at the quality of the products, and these substances are analyzed, and some data generated, and it is kept as a record. When you falsify these records, you either deliberately do it or incompetently do it, and that is negligence. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't agree with.
Honorable members, I may need to flag that clause, and then we'll take a few minutes suspension for me to attend to an international delegation now, then come back to continue with the business. We gave them time, they are available now, so I have to attend to them. So we suspend for 30 minutes. 30 minutes suspension, please. Honorable members, sitting is suspended for 30 minutes. Then we reconvene to continue with the consideration of the bill. Thank you so much.